9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I love technology, and I love all this new stuff, but I think there's something that has changed for children because of all of it. I think they're not outside as much. When we were kids, bicycles was like the greatest gift you could have.
Oh, yeah.
A bicycle, right? Why? Because you go outside, boom, you're driving. You're driving a car.
Or you're in a rocket ship going to the moon.
Right,
you have a lot of imagination on a bicycle.
When we were kids, there was an ad for Wonder Bread that said, builds strong bodies 12 different ways or something like that. Remember that?
Yep.
So your mother would always give you bread on a sandwich, a thing of milk, right?
Milk, big tall glass of cold milk.
Dr. Jennifer Weiss is on the phone. She specializes in pediatric orthopedic surgery and sports medicine, and she's got some ideas on how to make sure the children of today have good, healthy bones and are at less risk for bone-related injuries or bone-related health issues. Good morning, Dr. Weiss. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
And where are you calling from?
I am in Los Angeles. I practice at Kaiser Permanente out here.
Kaiser Permanente.
Nice.
I like that. So you're in a beautiful part of the country. I'm sure the kids get out a lot. And one of the things I noticed in your notes is that you recommend they don't play on more than one team a season.
That's right. So, there's a balance. We definitely want everybody up and out and moving and playing, but we do not want them doing one thing too much, specializing too early and doing the same thing over and over again, because then they can actually go in the other direction and hurt themselves.
Can I ask, which bones are most likely to be affected if we're not doing healthy things? Is it the backbone, the leg bone, or... I don't know if that's a dumb question or not, but is there one that...
No, that's a great question. So when we talk about building up our bone health, we want to prevent breaks, and that is of every bone. So that's why I just say yes. But as people get older, so elderly people with osteoporosis, which is weak bones, the most common break that can be really bad for them is breaking their hip, because that can really change things for them. But their back can also be affected. They can get little breaks in the back that can hunch it forward. So that's something that we definitely want to prevent for people.
Do we set the stage for problems when we're older if when we're younger we're not taking care of our bone health?
You got it. You said it exactly right. So we have to get the money in the bank. We need to get the money in the bank for college, and we need to get the bone in the bank for our bodies. And we have this window up to age 18 to 20 to make that happen. And so kids are responsible for their bones for later in life, and we need to teach them good habits to make that happen.
Does childhood obesity play a role in the way the bones strengthen as they grow older?
Absolutely. So childhood obesity, if a child is carrying a lot of extra weights, there are some bad things that can happen to their bones. Number one, they can not heal their bones as well. The way they heal their breaks can be worse, and their bones can deform or go into bad positions or bow. And there's some things that can happen in their hips where they can slip through their growth plates. So we really want to keep an eye on that. And that's the 1,000,000th reason, right, that we want to prevent that childhood obesity.
I was going back to childhood advertisement for bread, and a lot of times the information that we receive and that we perceive to be correct comes from advertisers who want us to believe that their product is going to be healthy. Back in those days, I don't think there was the same laws about labeling as there are today. But if just ignoring all the boasting on a label, if we just read that little square piece, would we be able to get the information we need to get the right nutrition?
That's a great question. And, I think in today's day and age, we're trying to keep it really simple for people, which is that you can get the hero of this story into your body in some very simple ways. One is milk. Milk gives you calcium, and most of our milk is fortified with vitamin D. You can get it in dairy products, in yogurts. You can get it in green leafy vegetables, so those don't necessarily come with a label, but those are really good and important. And then there's supplements of those things. That's a plan B. Plan A is real food, real simple, healthy food.
Is there a way to monitor it? Can a doctor tell you if you're low on something or something else?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. People can have their blood drawn, and we can give fancy levels, but we don't want to have to get to that. We want people to have this in their habits.
That makes sense. Yeah, I like that.
What is your opinion on those bone density tests? Do you think they're all that it's cracked up to be, or do you think people should really do that?
Yes, so that's interesting. My home institution, Kaiser Permanente, is really very big on the evidence of these bone density tests. So to the point when older people break their bones, we ask them, we beg them and plead them to get these tests so they can then get the treatment they need if their bones are soft. So but the role for those tests in little kids is really few and far between, and your doctor can always tell you if that's appropriate, but that's a really small role for young people.
How about recess in schools? Some schools like ours down here have taken it out of the curriculum, and they don't even have a regimented physical education program either. I mean, they're just, allowing the children just to hang out on the basketball court or something for about 20 minutes, and then they go back in for academics. How can you get those programs back into the schools where the children are at least running or doing something?
Yeah, how sad is that? Not only are they losing some funding, sadly, in some areas, but there's some safety concerns that I've heard of schools where kids aren't allowed to run. And that's just so sad if we can't have a safe environment, because we recommend that kids are 30 to 60 minutes per day out exercising. And if they can't get it in at school, that's a challenge for families who work and can't get them out. And so the way that I say is, guess what? Your kids aren't the only people we're recommending to exercise. We want everyone exercising. So if your kid can't get it at school, I think that's sad and awful, but I want your kid to get it with you. So as a family, build it in. You all need it.
Do you recommend any are there any books that you would suggest, or maybe a website that listeners can go to?
Absolutely. So the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons has put together this website called orthoinfo.org. It's orthoinfo.org. And this website is written by doctors for patients. It's written for families and for patients. And we want people to be able to go there and get all of this information in a user-friendly way without too much crazy language in there. We want you to really be able to understand it. And so we've written it for that purpose. It's orthoinfo.org.
And that is really, really helpful to people, because so many times, parents want to help their children. They don't know who they can trust. People will charge fees, and this is something that they can look up themselves and not be wary of.
That's right. And there's really nothing there. You don't need any consumer products for this. This is getting your kids out and moving and giving them plain old healthy basic food.
And do you advocate vitamins for children?
That's a plan B. In my house, there are 4 people under the age of 16, and one of them I have to put vitamins in because she's stubborn as all get out, but the other 3 do not. So, that's my plan B as a mom and as a doctor.
Nice.
I don't know if this is going to fall in line with what you want to talk about, but real quickly, when my son was younger, he's 30 now, but I remember he was in school and I got a call or a note or something saying that he had curvature of the spine. There was a word that they used. Actually, the word was scarier than the definition.
Yes.
Okay. What
scoliosis.
Yes. They observed scoliosis. And I said, what is this? And I had to, I think this was before the internet. I didn't know what it was. Anyway, so I speculated. I wonder if it's because his backpack was so heavy. I mean, they were giving him 1,000 books.
Yes. It was a mess.
That's a great question. So, you touched on a couple things. Number one is that is a scary word, and before the internet, it was scarier. So we love to have information out to demystify those words. And number two, we think heavy backpacks are bad, but we don't think that they cause scoliosis or curvature of the spine. What we know is that they can cause back pain if they're too heavy. So if they're more than about 15% of your kid's weight, then that could lead to back pain. But we don't think that it causes the actual curve.
Okay, but if you get that message home, if a parent today gets that message home, what do they do about it? Do they change the diet? Do they lay on a flat bed? How do they fix that?
So first of all, there's a lot of schools in our country that do something great, which is screen for scoliosis by having a nurse or a medical professional come into the school to examine the kids and screen them and get the parents to get them to the correct doctor. And what your doctor will do is examine your child, perhaps take an x-ray, and then if the curve is mild, there's really not much other than that. If the curve is very severe, sometimes there are braces or even surgeries, but those are for very severe kinds, and those are pretty rare.
Doctor, thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us today to talk about this. The website I got from you is orthoinfo.org, and I went there. It looks very complete. I would recommend for everybody who is interested in this subject. Dr. Jennifer Weiss, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Look for a shower thunderstorm around this afternoon, high 88 to 90. Thunderstorm in spots this evening, otherwise partly cloudy and humid with a low of 72 to 74. Then we'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine Tuesday with a shower thunderstorm in spots in the morning, followed by a couple of thunderstorms around in the afternoon. High on Tuesday, 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
There are only a few things in life that you can be certain will always be around: death, taxes, the pursuit of happiness, and computers. As they continue to advance at an epic pace, the one absolute certainty about them is that they'll break. It's not an if, it's a when. And when it happens, bring it to the only company in Ocala that's certified in Apple and Microsoft, Ocala Mac and PC Repair. They even offer on-site computer repair service, so they come to you. And if you do drop it off, you can check your repair status online. Ocala Mac and PC Repair is a family-owned and operated company that can do everything from mobile repair to wireless networks, fixing viruses, data recovery, even building and installing new systems. Visit online at ocalamacpc.com. In person, 1713 East Silver Springs Boulevard, or give them a call, 352-566-8324. That's 352-566-8324. Ocala Mac and PC Repair.
Looking to put your money to work? Florida Credit Union has a CD special, 25 months for 1.41% APY with a $10,000 minimum. Federally insured by the NCUA, a government agency. These rates effective through September 30th. Subject to change at any time. Visit one of Florida Credit Union's convenient locations today or their website, flcu.org, or call 352-237-8222. Don't miss this 25-month CD special. Again, the APY is 1.41%. Act now.
Until you go into Automax, Marion County's #1 pre-owned dealer for over 15 years, and see their upfront pricing and how Automax puts their low outlet price, along with the Carfax and complete vehicle information on the window of every single vehicle. Then, and only then, can you take advantage of great finance offers, like rates from 2% with 0 down, and no payments for 90 days with loan approval. View all these great prices and vehicles on the corner of 17th and Easy Street. Automax. Quality cars, outlet prices.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
All right, 19 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know what I was expecting. Something else was going to happen right there. I wanted to kind of mention something that I mentioned this morning, and it's more of a favor than anything else. I learned about a firefighter who died on September 11th, 2001 in the Twin Towers in New York. This past week. I learned about him this past week. The reason I learned about him is because I have a friend who is a firefighter up in New York, and he worked as a fire chief in a town on Long Island that I grew up in, North Merrick. But he also worked as a fire patrolman in New York City. And to be honest, I never even knew what the difference was. But the fire patrol, let me find my notes here on this subject. for all intents and purposes, the exact same thing as the fire department, but they're not really. And so one of the guys from the fire patrol died on September 11th, 2001, helping rescue people in the Twin Towers. And the number of firefighters that are listed as casualties from September 11th, 2001 is 343. The number should be at least 344. I've heard from other people, by the way, since doing this, that there's also some retired firefighters that should have been included in the number also. Oh. And that might be another issue. But the friend in New York has as his Facebook profile picture a plaque that sits on a building in New York, just south of... It's in the village somewhere. I can't remember where
Greenwich
it is.
Village?
In Greenwich Village, yes. And anyway, so it was Fire Patrol Station number 2. Now, Fire Patrol Station number 2 either has closed or they've moved to a new location, and the building itself was purchased by
Anderson
Cooper from CNN. And there was a plaque put on the wall. Let me find Jimmy's...
You should send him an email.
Anderson Cooper should get an email.
Get him to sign the petition.
So we have okay. You're jumping ahead. Let me get Jimmy.
Sorry. Your fingers are typing, and my brain is working this morning.
So the plaque on the wall of the building says, "Dedicated to the memory of Patrolman Keith Roma, Fire Patrol 2, who made the supreme sacrifice in the performance of duty, operating at Manhattan Box." What does it say? 55 or 568087. I don't know what that means. World Trade Center, September 11th, 2001. He's not included in the number, and so I have started a petition. I asked them if anybody has started a petition, and they said no. And I couldn't believe nobody started a petition. So the petition is to the commissioner for the fire department of the city of New York. Now, I know this has nothing to do with Ocala, so I'm really only broadcasting this so I can ask you as our listeners and our friends to kind of help me out with a little favor. We started a petition. If I go to my petition right now, I started yesterday, and I have 10 signatures. One of them is mine. One of them is Robin's. Yes. So 8 of you have helped out with this. I don't know how many are going to be needed to make a difference. Mm-hmm. And once there's enough of them, I guess it'll go to the commissioner of the city of New York, the fire commissioner, and then he can make the decision as to whether or not this one fire patrolman should be listed as a casualty. If you would allow me, and I read this morning, but I want to read it again. On September 11th, 2001, 19 terrorists caused the deaths of 2,977 people. Of those, many of them were firefighters who spent their last moments attempting to save the lives of everyone still trapped in the burning towers. According to official statistics and the New York Fire Department, 343 of them died on that day. What those statistics don't show is that there was a 344th. While the New York Fire Department served as the main fire protection unit for New York City, many people don't know about a second one, the New York Fire Patrol. With only 3 stations and around 100 firefighters, the New York Fire Patrol is a much smaller scale operation with a more focused purpose. The New York Fire Patrol protected property, where the Fire Department of New York would break windows to vent fires and spray areas with water. The New York Fire Patrol would cover valuable items with tarps and pump excess water out of the buildings. The 2 agencies worked together. Mm-hmm. The FDNY and the NYFP worked together to save people's lives and livelihoods from fires. Anyway, it goes down to the September 11th part of this. The man we're talking about is Keith Roma. He had been a patrolman for 6 years. He responded to the call to go to the Twin Towers on September 11th, 2001, and he is credited with saving the lives of over 200 people, making no less than 4 trips up Tower 1. At one point, he helped a barefoot woman by carrying her over broken glass in the lobby of the towers, ensuring that she would survive. He was last seen alive at command post of Tower 1. His body wasn't found until Christmas Eve of 2001.
That is so sad.
When they found his body, they found 9 more evacuees, and the assumption is that he was helping those 9 people get out of the building when the building collapsed, mm-hmm. and he and they died. He was the only member of the New York Fire Patrol that day to die. Okay. So why isn't he listed among the casualties of the New York Fire Department? Because the fire department and the patrol are two separate things. Even though they look very much the same, they respond to the same calls. At that particular time, they were both doing the exact same thing, which was trying to evacuate people.
Right.
So when he died, he was doing the same thing as them. The fire department of New York actually gave him a funeral mass, which was comforting to the family because they felt like that was appropriate.
Yes.
The organizers of a stair climb, I guess they do this memorial stair climb every year to honor the firefighters, and they always have 343 firefighters. The family and the folks who are also fire patrol, tried to persuade and convinced, they did succeed in convincing them to have a 344th spot for Roma, but still there's no official listing for him. Even on Wikipedia, it only lists 343. When they tried to change that, because Wikipedia can be edited by anybody, but still Wikipedia will come back and say, no, we can't do that, or yes, we can do that. They responded, Fire Patrol is not an emergency service function. And they are. They are, and they have been. And if you think about what he did that day, that was clearly an emergency service function.
Yes, for sure.
I'm bringing all of this to your attention only because I know it has nothing to do with Ocala, but it has to do with just doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And so my purpose is to ask you a favor. And it costs you nothing. I'm not asking you to spend any money or do anything really laborious. If you go to the WOCA Facebook page, we posted on there a link to the petition that I started on the change.org. It's simply a matter of clicking on that thing and filling it out. Robin did it because I wasn't sure how this worked. I had never done one of these before. Robin did it. It looked pretty easy.
It was easy.
Took you how long?
I was good. Maybe about a minute. I mean,
Okay.
it didn't take that long.
And so the more signatures we get on this, the more impact it'll have with the commissioner. And chances are he's probably in agreement with this.
Yeah.
I don't think he disagrees with this. I don't know.
They just need paperwork.
And in fact, it said that the fire department had promised to include him in on the number, but they just haven't. So for whatever reason, the family is asking for them to please do something. 15 years later, they still don't have their loved one listed in the numbers. It's all they're asking.
They should.
We should call, what's his name again? The guy-
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, we should make a personal call.
Yeah, I
to
mean, he
him.
owns the
Sure.
house. The plaque is still on the
Yeah,
house.
he left the plaque on there, so he's got to respect it.
Which was a very respectful thing to do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that's all
we'll
I'm
make a
asking.
call.
I just spent all this time telling you that so that you could go sign a petition. But it's Keith Roma. It means a lot to the folks who are firefighters up in New York. I have several friends who are in the fire department. One who was a chief, not of the city fire department, but of a suburb on Long Island. But he did work at one of the fire patrol units, and so this guy was this young man was somebody he knew.
Yeah.
So if you go to Facebook, the WOCA Facebook page, you click on the little link there, and it'll give you a chance to sign the petition. And also, if you wouldn't mind sharing it with others, too, so that other people can share it. It's self-explanatory. You don't got to do anything other than sign it.
Yes.
Sign it and share it. Sign it and share it. Sign it and share it.
That's right. Sign and share. Sign and share. 2 S's. Sign and share.
All right. And I know, I mean, our firefighters right here do such a fabulous job. And
Oh, they do.
I'm guessing every fire department in every city, we have our own issues with our fire. We need to help them get a better wage instead of having, this was a campaign issue. And,
Oh,
and
certainly.
it should still be a campaign issue.
It should be.
But we should do whatever we can to help them out and thank them for their service. Fire
Yeah.
and police. My gosh, the police are getting so disrespected lately.
I know. It's just
Some
so
of the
disgusting.
things in the news, disrespected and hurt and made out to be somehow the bad guys. I
Yeah.
mean, these are the ones who stand in the way of you and the bad guys.
That's right. They'll take a bullet for you.
So
They will.
anyway,
Bless our law enforcement and first responders.
If you could do that, that would be awesome.
Yep.
All right, Joe Martone, not in today. His
Nope.
wife Patsy, sick in the hospital with pneumonia. Say some prayers, please, for Patsy. But we will have fun with Joe. I think Dan is going to sit in his dad's place.
I think
Right?
so. Yep.
It was fun
I
last
haven't
week.
asked him, but
He threw some people under the bus and sent them in.
that was the funnest part.
Well, today it's National Talk Like a Pirate Day. So when we come back with Dan to do fun with Joe, We will have questions that have to do with pirates
Nice.
and or the phrase "R."
Arr.
Yeah, something like that. So National Talk Like a Pirate Day. All right, we'll take a little break and be right back. You're listening to The Source, WOCA, Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Authorities have pinpointed a suspect in Saturday's explosion in New York that injured 29 and the discovery of 5 explosive devices at an Elizabeth, New Jersey train station. He's identified as Ahmad Khan Rahami.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo urges people to stay vigilant.
The fundamental goal of these acts are to disrupt our life, right? Disrupt freedom, disrupt democracy. And we're not going to let them do that.
5 people were taken into custody in New York. They are reportedly relatives of Rahami.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. The suspect also linked to a Saturday pipe bomb explosion before a military charity 5K race. An off-duty officer hailed as a hero for stopping a stabbing suspect at a Minnesota mall this weekend. St. Cloud Mayor David Kleiss.
The attacker lunged at him 3 separate times.
Jason Falconer fatally shot the suspect after 9 people were injured. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Geico presents a voicemail from your friend, Water.
Hey, it's me, Water. Look, about what happened in your apartment with the broken pipe. I just wanted to apologize for ruining all your stuff, and I hope this can all just be some me under the bridge someday. Oh, and also, I'm not paying for anything. Okay, bye.
Water never pays for water damage. Luckily, the Geico Insurance Agency makes getting coverage a snap. Visit geico.com to see how affordable renter's insurance can be.
America is taking the lead in energy,
leading the world in oil and natural gas production. I vote to keep it going. With the right policies, we can produce, refine, and supply
more oil and natural gas.
And more abundant energy means more affordable energy for American families.
A more secure America.
Jobs, opportunity, and economic growth for our children
and grandchildren.
That's why this election,
I'm voting
for American energy.
Learn more at voteforenergy.org.
Join us and become an energy voter.
Brought to you by American Petroleum Institute.
Council.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
Here are today's headlines from The Source, WOCA. A device found in a backpack near a train station in New Jersey exploded early this morning while a bomb squad robot was trying to disarm it. Christian Bolwadge, the mayor of Elizabeth, said the 2 men found a bag containing 5 devices in a trash can at about 8:30 p.m. last night. The bag had wires and a pipe protruding from it. Bolwadge said the FBI was attempting to disarm one of the devices when it exploded. There were no immediate reports of any injuries or damage. The incident came after 29 people were injured in an explosion in Chelsea, Manhattan on Saturday. An unexploded pressure cooker device was also found 4 blocks away and was being analyzed by the FBI. New Jersey transit services were suspended between Newark Liberty Airport and Elizabeth, and Amtrak trains to New Jersey were being held at New York Penn Station. Amtrak trains heading to New York were held in Trenton early this morning. Passengers said they were stuck on trains for hours last night. Amtrak said 2,400 passengers were affected. A pipe bomb exploded in Seaside Park, New Jersey on Saturday, about an hour from the Elizabeth train station. Officials said the 2 incidents did not appear to be connected, but they were not ruling anything out. 3 surfers are recovering from injuries suffered when they were attacked by sharks off of the Florida coast yesterday. Volusia County Beach and Safety Ocean Rescue said the 3 separate incidents were in the Atlantic Ocean off New Smyrna Beach. 2 men suffered significant but non-life-threatening lacerations and were hospitalized. A 43-year-old man was bitten on his lower leg, and within 30 minutes, a 36-year-old man was bitten on both hands. Just before 1 p.m. Eastern Time, a 16-year-old boy was bitten on the inner thigh. He sustained a minor laceration and did not require a trip to the hospital. There have been 12 shark bites in Volusia County so far this year. SpaceX says there are no delays in its work to develop a space taxi for NASA despite a launch pad explosion earlier this month. The private space vehicle company and Boeing are building spaceships to fly NASA astronauts to the International Space Station. SpaceX intends to make its first test flight to the space station next year. Meanwhile, the company is working to learn why one of its rockets exploded while it was being fueled for a pre-launch test on September 1st at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. A Palm Beach County man is taking Samsung Electronics to court after his Galaxy Note 7 reportedly exploded in his front pocket. Jonathan Strobel says his smartphone burned directly through his pants pocket, leaving second-degree burns on his leg. The South Korean company has received nearly 100 reports of batteries overheating, prompting a mass recall of more than 1 million Note 7s. Although the lawsuit came just one day after the recall, Strobel's lawyer says it came too late for his client. The victim is seeking unspecified damages for medical bills, lost wages, and pain and suffering. A man who had a roadside confrontation with George Zimmerman in Seminole County has been found guilty of attempted murder. Matthew Apperson admitted to firing his gun into Zimmerman's truck during the incident that took place in May of 2015 on a busy Lake Mary Boulevard. Apperson had claimed self-defense, saying that Zimmerman flashed a gun and threatened to shoot him. Zimmerman testified that he never showed a weapon, although he did say he had 2 firearms in his truck at the time. Jurors returned their verdict on Friday, also finding Apperson guilty of 2 other charges, shooting into an occupied vehicle and aggravated assault. He faces a mandatory minimum 20 years in prison when he is sentenced in October. And those are the headlines from The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Look for a shower thunderstorm around this afternoon, high 88 to 90. Thunderstorm in spots this evening, otherwise partly cloudy and humid with a low of 72 to 74. Then we'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine Tuesday with a shower thunderstorm in spots in the morning, followed by a couple of thunderstorms around in the afternoon. High on Tuesday, 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Whether you're just starting out in your career or ready to make a change, being a commercial pilot is within your reach. The FAA has predicted that in the next few years, the number of planes in the sky will double, and that means a lot more jobs in aviation. Ocala Aviation has teamed up with an accredited university, enabling you to get a college degree in aviation while training to be a commercial pilot. And with options like financial aid, grants, and scholarships, it's never been a better time to get your new career in aviation started today. For more information, call me at Ocala Aviation, 352-861-7484.
You can't put it off any longer. It's time to replace your home's AC system.
The answer is ACEsolvesItAll.com and an exceptionally efficient AC system. Let the pros at A show you how you can save on energy monthly and give your family added comfort. The great thing is that ACEsolvesItAll.com is on call 7 to 7, 7 days a week at no extra charge.
For a limited time, mention WOCA and get a special discount.
Call 877-765-4ACE or ACEsolvesItAll.com.
Today in Florida Ag News from a Southeast AgNet, well, a big event is coming to Florida October 14th through 16th as the Produce Marketing Association's 2016 Fresh Summit Convention and Expo will take place in Orlando. At the largest Fresh Summit Expo ever, attendees will be able to find fresh product and business ideas at every turn. And this year's educational programming offers up-to-the-minute general session and workshop topics designed to help attendees and their companies get to the next level. Expert speakers from around the world will be drawing from their professional knowledge and experiences to help attendees capitalize on current trends that are shaping the industry's future. General session topics include innovation, personal branding, and PMA's popular annual State of the Industry. And the expo itself will have more than 1,100 exhibitors covering over 300,000 square feet. So to learn more about PMA's 2016 Fresh Summit Convention and Expo coming to Orlando October 14th through 16th, go to our website, southeastagnet.com.
Hi, I'm Adam Putnam, Florida's Commissioner of Agriculture. I just wanted to take a moment to talk about some very important and exciting things we're doing here at the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. At least one pest or disease is introduced into our state every month, and some of these seemingly small pests have the potential to cripple our agriculture industry. However, through the Don't Pack a Pest campaign, we're working to protect Florida's more than $120 billion agriculture industry and the 2 million jobs it supports from the threat of invasive pests and disease. The Don't Pack a Pest campaign urges travelers to help prevent unwanted pests from entering our state by declaring their agricultural items for inspection. These items include fresh fruits, vegetables, cut flowers, plant material, animal products, and firewood, among other things. Keeping pests outside our borders is the most effective way to protect our state from these threats. Visit our website at freshfromflorida.com to learn more about this program.
Randall Wiseman, Southeast AgNet.
Yeah, I'm that drip coming down from the corner of the room. But where did I come from? I'll never tell.
Bone Dry Roofing can and will fix it right the first time using quality materials and will deal honestly and fairly with you, period. You can find Bone Dry Roofing on their website, bonedryroofingllc.com, and Facebook at Bone Dry Roofing LLC. Do it right before your roof needs a tarp to keep the elements out. Bone Dry Roofing stands behind their work to help make your home safe and secure, plus they have financing available. Remember, if you're not bone dry, then you're all wet.
Ocala's information station.